Well, if you didn't make it to Green Bay for the season opening series, you missed some pretty exciting hockey. The Wisconsin Badgers, under the direction of new head coach Tony Granato, his brother Don, and Mark Osiki, opened against Northern Michigan. Badgers had a goal disallowed in the third period on Friday night and lost 3-2. And then Saturday night, there were 5 ties and 6 lead changes before Wisconsin pulled out a 6-5 victory. The Badgers at the Kohl Center for the first time this season. Boston College is coming to town. We'll talk about all of that with the Badgers head coach, Tony Granato, coming up in just a moment. I'm Brian Posick, the radio voice of Wisconsin hockey, and you're watching the Badger Hockey Digest.
This is Lexi Rush. She's 10, and she's amazing. You see, Lexi was born deaf and couldn't hear anything. That was until her doctor in Appleton referred her to the pediatric specialists at UW Health in Madison. Now, 2 operations later, Lexi can hear everything. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health. Remarkable.
Well, Tony, congratulations on your first win as the Badgers head coach. I know you would have liked to have gotten it Friday night, and you had a chance. Saturday night, though, certainly if fans had tickets, it was worth the price of admission. That was fun to watch. What did you think of the 6-5 victory over Northern Michigan?
Yeah, I learned a lot, I'll tell you that, after a game like that. And I think the biggest thing is the penalty thing. You just got to understand that the referees are instructed to make a lot of calls. So you got to be ready for both power play penalty kill, and that's that thing. So I thought it was an entertaining weekend for us. I think we saw a lot of really, really positive things, more so than the negative. So from that standpoint, all the coaches after were really happy with how the weekend went. And obviously, we would have loved to have won Friday. We put ourselves in a position to. We thought we scored there when we had that one disallowed. We hit a couple posts in the third. We kept coming. We kept coming. So that's the part we want to have. We want to be workers. We want to be hard to play against. We want to sustain offensive zone time by our work ethic. And I thought we started to establish that in that series, and we'll have to continue to do that against BC.
Yeah, in fact, we spoke with sophomore Will Johnson, who had 2 power play goals this past weekend, and he said the players really enjoy this style that Tony, Don, and Mark have implemented.
We got the lead, and it was just a little different because as soon as we got that lead, we knew that we could keep attacking. You know, it wasn't a thing where we needed to settle. You know, it wasn't okay, we're up by 1, settle. It was, we're up by 1, let's make it up by 2. You know, it was like keep going for those goals, and you know, we just kept attacking, and that's what our team does is, you know, show that speed and show that aggression, and it's good.
Yeah.
Just we came out.
Will's talking about, you know what, if we're up 1, let's get up 2. Doesn't matter what time of the game is, let's keep attacking. And we saw that from everybody on the ice, defense included.
Yeah, and it's important. Like he said, the best way to play defense is to have the puck and play offense. So we don't want to sit back. I think our offensive, at least the players up front, are tenacious. They hunt pucks. They skate well, and that's the way they have to play. So no matter what the score is, you know, we have to be on our toes, and we have to be somewhat aggressive. And I think as the season goes along, we'll settle down defensively. Obviously, giving up that many goals in the first weekend isn't a great thing, but I think there's areas that you'll see improvements real fast.
Yeah, we saw the power play very effective, 5 for 16 on the weekend, and actually probably could have been better, couldn't it have?
Well, Friday night's game when they got 1 at the end of that was 3 posts on the power play in that game, and some great chances. You know, Luke. You know, he got the 1 on Saturday, but on Friday he probably had 3 or 4 chances that were just as good as the one he scored on. So we got our chances. They're a very confident group right now. Both units are. I think that's a really nice thing to have, is when you got as many skill forwards as we do, you can have 2 units that are both effective and a little bit different. I think the second unit, or the other unit, has all lefties on it. They complement each other really well. Seamus got a nice power play goal and Saturday night as well. So I think it's you know, the power play is looking really good, and now we get the penalty kill and thinking a little bit more confidently, and we'll get that part of the game going as well.
And you're going to have a lot of practice at both, Tony, because there were 33 penalties called last weekend because there's an emphasis on obstruction. We saw a ton of penalties and a lot of special teams play early on.
We did, and I think as much as and as hard as it is on the players for the keeping you in the flow of the game, like some guys don't play a lot of PP or PK, and they might sit there if there's 3 or 4 penalties in a row. They might sit there for 7 or 8 minutes. They got to find ways to stay in the game. But I think for our team, with all the offensive players we have, it's not a bad thing to happen if you're just prepared for it. You understand you're going to get your 7 or 8 power plays, but you're also going to have to kill your 6 or 7 or 8. So you got to be sharp on that PK. So if that's the way they're going to call it all year, I don't think it's a bad thing for our team. I think we just got to adjust and understand that's the way it's going to be called.
Yeah. The leading goal scorer among defensemen in the country after 2 weekends of hockey is Corbin Maguire, a converted forward. We're going to talk about Corbin and the Badgers' defense specifically, plus Boston College coming to town. That's coming up in just a moment.
This is what collaboration looks like. This is what happens when a cardiologist in Appleton works step in step with specialists at UW Health in Madison. You see, when Terry's condition required a second opinion, his doctor turned to the cardiothoracic team at UW Health. Together, we made sure Terry got the care and the heart transplant he needed. Powerful minds, compassionate care, amazing results. UW Health, remarkable.
Well, 3 of the goals the Badgers scored this past weekend against Northern Michigan came from defenseman Corbin Maguire, who hasn't played a lot of defense in his career, just 9 games last year, 3 this year. He had 2 highlight reel goals, 2 and 1 in the third period on Saturday night. It was a toe pull, sweet move. He left the young man's breezers, if you will, laying in the face-off circle. I mean, you have to feel good for a young man that's learning a new position and will put his heart and soul into whatever you and the rest of the coaching staff ask him to do.
I think that's the best way to describe Corbin right there. He is as good of a pupil as you could have when you're trying to teach something. His enthusiasm, his energy, his love for the game of hockey spills over to our team. And I don't know if you could see our bench after that goal was scored, and when he got back, how many hugs and high fives he got after both those goals. Those are both big goals for us this weekend. But here's a kid, like you said, we switched to defense, or he got switched to defense last year. So not a whole lot of experience back there, but to have the confidence he does right now, both defensively and offensively, is really just a great compliment to him on how hard he's worked to be ready for this opportunity.
Yeah, in time, too, your defensemen will be better. Matt Jurusik started both games in goal this past weekend. You look at his numbers, they don't look that special. But I tell you, on Saturday against Northern Michigan, he was superb in the third period of play. Matt was thrown into the fire last year and learned a lot and thinks he's much better from what he went through a year ago.
Well, there was a lot of ups and downs, Like you said, I definitely would have liked to have more than a couple goals back, but I had fun and I learned a ton and developed a lot. And my game right now from where I was a year ago, I think it's completely different night and day. So, I think it was a necessary evil last year. Getting thrown in the fire and getting beat up a little bit because I'm a bigger, stronger goalie because of it now.
Matt wants to be the number 1 guy. He's got 2 guys pushing him. Right now, he is the number 1 guy, and I tell you, that third period, especially in the 5-on-3 penalty kill that your team was forced to kill off, he was fantastic.
You're right. They had a lot of zone time on that 5-on-3. I think we had a minute and a half there to kill, and he made 3 really big saves. So you can see his confidence, and usually when goaltenders don't have a great start to the weekend or things don't bounce their way, they sink in the net and they get smaller and they squeeze it a little bit. I saw him, even after the goals were scored as that series went on, become more confident and say, shoot again, give me the puck again. Like, I think he wanted it. I think he wanted the challenge of having a lot of chances against. And certainly at that point of the game, if the game was tied at that point, late in the game, and he came up large for us and really gave us a chance to come back and win.
Yep, right before Trent Frederick's power play goal gave the Badgers the lead for good. So this weekend, Badgers play their home opening series at the Kohl Center against Boston College. Should be entertaining, up and down hockey. Tony Granato has 1 win in his college head coaching career. Jerry York has 1,013.
Holy cow.
Yeah, over 2,000 games he's coached. How about those
That's
numbers?
a lot of hockey games, but he's Jerry York's a special man. He's I guess all coaches around, whether you're in the NHL, whether you're in college, whether you're in youth hockey, know who Jerry York. He's a great man, obviously a great coach. It'll be fun to have him in town, and hopefully he coaches for another 10 years because I'd like to see him get a lot more wins. Hopefully none this weekend. We'll take a couple from this weekend.
Again, thanks for your time. Congrats on this past weekend, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. That's Tony Granato, head coach of the Wisconsin Badgers. Badgers in BC Friday night. Game starts at 7 o'clock. Join me along with Adam Burrish on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Both games are on the Badgers Sports Network, also online at badgersportsnetwork.com. Ian Perrin on the color. Mike Heller fills in on Friday, and then I'll be back Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock for the series finale. For Tony Granato, I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.